Are we there? Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, and I'm here with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky Daily. How you doing this morning, there, Mike? You're still down in
Anaheim,
CAR.
meetings. We had an interesting caucus last night. It had a lot to do with nothing so much as national housing, but kind of housekeeping for the California Association of Realtors. And we didn't get to any of our reports. So I've been looking up some of the stuff, what some of the action items are coming up. There'll be more tonight in caucus. There'll be reports in caucus. I went to a couple of legal legislative days, and we talked a lot about ACA 13. That's the yet unnamed ballot measure or ballot, measure. I don't know what it'll be called, proposition, when it hits the ballot in November. That is kind of an end around to weaken the stability of Prop 13 by making it harder for people to pass certain things. So if the scary part is if they were able to get rid of or retire Prop 13 because of this ballot measure, you would there'd be no way we could get a 2/3 vote on Prop 13 again to bring it back if it got destroyed, if it went away. So we don't want ACA 13 and whatever it's going to be named when it hits the ballot to pass in any capacity.
I just hope they put it on there that if you vote no, you don't want it.
Right.
They're going to put it on there that you got to vote yes to not get it.
Yeah. No, and that's some of the sneaky little games that they do. But, there's a lot of buzz around ACA 13 in the hallways. So we're going to be fighting very hard to make it very understandable to the voter. So this has no possibility of passing. So
you good? I'm gonna get into some of my stuff. So I'm starting to hear as I'm talking to new clients, they're good with a $3,000 to $4,000 payment a month. They understand now that's what the payment is going to be going forward. They're ready to move forward. So I think we're finally at that point where people are like, I can't wait any longer. I have to buy a home. And even with these rates, and they're finally thinking, most people were thinking that probably they were going to come down. And these are people who are, this couple, they own a home that's a rental and they have a low rate on that, but they want to buy another one. And, all these things come into play, like, well, can I do 3% down? No, you're not a first-time home buyer. Can I do FHA? As long as it's not within 100 miles of the current property.
Right. Yeah, there's some guidelines and some rules.
Yeah. So, I mean, and there are different things, but I will say this, be careful how much you do to become the authority in your industry. And the guy was like, my girlfriend sent me your website and everything else. I'm like, are you sure this is the guy? Because this guy seems like he's too big. And so be careful with that. So become authority, but don't become too much of authority. Or just, dumb it down some. All right. So Fed, I don't want to get into all the things. They left it in the same range. I wanted them to raise. They said no. The big thing that they forecast going forward is GDP is going to in 2023 from 1% to 2.1%. Unemployment rate is going to decrease in 2023 from 4.1 to 3.8.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't know about that. I think it's going to get worse. There's some inflation. We'll move on. The most important thing I want to talk about. So there's Campbell Harvey, he's an economist from Duke, and he was on CNBC this morning, and he had made some unique comments. He cited that the last 4 recessions, the average time from the inversion of the yield curve, right? Okay. That's when it gets the shorter is greater than the long term. So the inversion to recession is 13 months. And so he was saying it's way too early to say it's not going to happen. He is thinking that we're going to hit this recession in December, January time. And we'll give it time to see that. And so that's what he's looking at. He's saying that for the last 4 recessions, that's where it's happened a little bit further. And so what we're seeing is December, January, he thinks we're going to hit that recession. Initial jobless claims came in, 20,000 less than they were expecting. They're for 201,000. They were expecting 221,000. I can add. Wow. Continuing claims for those who are still on unemployment, still getting benefits, that also fell 21,000. But my question really is that just because they can't get it anymore? right? Because they've been on it for so long. Because you don't get all the extra stuff like you used to.
No, you don't.
Right. And so those numbers show you that, well, if you look at it, then that means our economy is strong. Well, we have such a strong economy, and that's what the Feds said yesterday, is they were shocked how resilient this economy is, and that's what had the market sell off, and why we're down 41 basis points today.
Jesus.
That and
holy Jesus.
I mean, we flipped yesterday from being positive to negative.
Right.
And so again, rates are going to continue to go up a little bit. Get into that home, stop worrying about it, because when they come down, you're going to see so many people coming out to get it.
Yeah.
And there's one guy that's so negative about all the stuff that we're saying, and a bunch of other stuff out of Las Vegas. And he makes little memes and stuff, and he is basically so negative about saying that it's the opposite way. It's going to blow up. We're going to have a bottom, and that's what we were talking about yesterday. We can see why people are worried, because they hear so much negativity. All right, what else we have? Existing home sales, which measures closing on existing homes, showed that it fell to 0.7% in August. So it fell 0.7% in August to a 4 million unit annualized pace, which is slightly weaker than their estimates. But again, the problem, no inventory.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Is there are only 582,000 homes available on the market nationwide.
Yeah,
that's nothing. We're supposed to have 1.2 million on average.
Exactly. So. And to walk up and down the hallways, that's what people talk about. No inventory. Right. How about your area up north in California? No inventory. How about your area down here in Fullerton, or in LA, or in Pomona, or in Palm Springs? No inventory. In Palm Springs, because of Hillary, they had those mudslides, and some homes are fairly destroyed. Insurance is an issue. Homes that were selling in the 550s, people are walking away from them, dumping them for like $250,000. Because
where
they don't in Palm Springs area.
Why?
Because of the mud and when Hillary came through. So they're just walking away.
A bad storm, both of them.
Yeah. We had an old guy get up, and he opened up his little conversation with, "Boy, that Hillary is a bitch of a storm."
NAR did a survey, and they were asking prospective home buyers the first or second reason for not buying a home today. The main reason is they're waiting for rates to come down.
Right.
And that's 39% of the people. Right. And then the other 26 of the buyers, are the main reason that they're waiting to purchase is multiple offer situations. So they want to wait. They want to wait until there's multiple offer situations.
What?
No, I'm saying they're waiting because they hear there's multiple offer situations. So they're waiting for more inventory.
They're waiting for it to be so there's more multiple
they're
offers.
waiting for it to be like, instead of 5 multiple offers, or 10 to 22 or 30 again.
Yeah, because that's so much fun.
Well, no, they just at that point then, I should just do it because everybody else is doing it.
Oh, you mean follow the leader?
Yes. And that is the news for today.
That is the news for today.
So basically, look, if you look at the numbers, it's still showing tight inventory, tight labor market. So that means you have a job, you can afford the payment, you get the house, you refinance later.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. We know that all these loans that are being done are going to be refinanced 1, 2, or 3 times over the next 3 to 5 years. So, and that's why you're not getting a lot of money for, it costs more for these loans right now. So,
well, we shall pray for recession to happen December or January of this or next year.
It's going to here's what's going to happen. Christmas is going to come. People aren't going to have a lot of money. They've already maxed out their credit cards. Right. They don't have the extra savings. It's going to be a bad Christmas. January, they're going to do major sales, and it's still not going to be that good. And you're going to see that people are really starting to hurt. And this, especially diesel's almost $7 a gallon for me.
Oh, thanks for bringing up the gas prices. So there's a news report this morning that's saying, LA's suffering high gas prices, $6.05, and I'm assuming they're just talking about regular. $6.05,
the cheapest one.
Yeah. So $6.05, but that still doesn't beat the highest in October of 22, where it was $6.45 a gallon. Then they go to, the man in the street with the camera at these gas stations. I didn't see but maybe one gas station where the price was less than $645 for regular. The $645, $679, $689. There was a $699. That they're showing. I'm like, what? You're reporting the news. You're making it up.
Yep.
And here's the camera guy showing you that they're a lot higher than what you're talking about already.
Yeah, because the newsroom's saying you say this, it's on the prompter no matter what.
Right.
Don't come up with your own thing. Well, and that's the problem. We got oil $90+ a barrel. It's going to keep going. And we have, we already are in our winter brew in California.
Yes, the winter brew. Oh my God.
Which is always more expensive.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, this is self-inflicted. All these gas prices, all this stuff that's going on is self-inflicted, meaning you voted for them or somebody did. I didn't. I'm just telling you, I didn't vote for this president. Because I vote pocketbook, and I knew that this was going to not be
on the horizon.
This is going to hurt us. We're back to 1973. So if you don't understand about 1973, go research it, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't make a change, it's going to get worse for the next 4 years or whatever after that. That's 5.5 more years, and it's going to get worse, and
a lot worse.
Yeah,
you'll see $10 a gallon at the pumps,
and you'll see 11% interest rates
or higher.
Right. Yeah, because of this inflation. Because they keep spending for this green thing. They just spent another $400 million yesterday for another, to get more green stuff going. And it's funny. I talked to so many people on the phone, and I talked like this, and I've not come across anybody who voted for Biden, and I'm not saying they're not out there. Someone did, because there's a way. I'm just saying everybody needs to come out to vote this time. If you don't come out to vote, you are voting for what the current situation that we're in.
Yeah. For realtors out there listening to us, there's going to be a new and improved NHD, a Natural Hazard Zone Disclosure Report, and they're going to add 3 things. The first one I don't remember. That one kind of made sense.
How did you vote?
Well, we haven't voted on it yet.
No.
Yeah, how did you vote? You can't afford a home. You destroyed the economy. Rising sea levels disclosure and climate change disclosure.
Are you
in
serious?
the Natural Hazard Zone Disclosure Report. And I know that the opinion across America is mixed, but it seems like we're disclosing fictional items.
Well, here's my question: where are they marking the sea level as higher?
I don't know. I don't know
because
where
I've seen some pictures from 1930 and the same place today, and the sea level exactly the same place.
When the ice in your glass melts?
Yeah, your glass doesn't go over.
Does your glass flow over?
No, it doesn't.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Well,
the
that's
displacement's already there.
Right. And I saw the lake that used to be in the Central Valley.
Right.
Central Valley used to be this huge lake. I mean, 1910 back, it was a huge lake, and it all got sucked out by farmers. Right. And then it got smaller, and then they sucked even more out of it, and it went away. And that was the Tulare Lake that's left. And now it's back somewhat. If we get another good winter, maybe they'll get bigger and bigger and bigger.
We'll have another Tulare Lake.
Well, not only that, we'll be like oceanfront property. We'll be lakefront property right around here.
Yep. Triple your value.
Valley. Yeah, it's in the Central Valley.
Anyway, I thought that was funny. I thought that was
that's not funny. That is ridiculous.
Well, that's exactly funny, ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I think funny that is like but I think this is ridiculous. You're climate change and the fact that rising sea levels. Give me a break.
Which don't seem to be happening. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and if you go back in time, for the last 50, 60 years, it's always something's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and they change it to something else. So they keep changing what's going to happen.
Look over here. Well, we do something.
I know we're a little political today, but I was telling my wife, she's asking me about what's going on. I was getting pissed off, and it was like, because I come home to forget about some of this stuff.
Right.
And the issue is, we're in this situation because of choices to shut down pipelines, to go green at all costs and at whatever. You can't fix this if you're still spending money, and our government is still spending money. A good government would see that we have high inflation and we need to stop spending. They don't see it that way. They see we need to just keep printing money and spend. And that's why the Fed, this is not going to work with what they did.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And why is it that you got to hurt the little guy in order for the economy to turn around, for rates to come down?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah. Jump back on.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. We're going to leave it there. Again, we talked about some little, existing claims for unemployment. That stuff came in lower than they expected. Continuing claims came in lower than expected. There's no inventory. We're a broken record. Buy now.
Watch for us to be talking about ACA 13 and what that becomes what it becomes named when it turns onto the ballot. And actually read it. Vote your pocketbook. You don't want to have property taxes like they happen in Texas.
The issue is they want to have more. We don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem in California. We have a spending problem in the United States with our government.
Right.
We have plenty of revenue. They don't need more money. They need less spending, less bullshit stuff.
I've been screaming that for years.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, make it a great Thursday.
All right. Thanks for watching. And if you best thing you can do to support us is go to YouTube channel and subscribe. Mine's Ed Parcaut, and Mike Kelly is Mike Kelly Realtor, I think.
Yep.